If your website looks something like this right here, then you are never going to make real money with e-commerce. And I know this because this is what my first store looked like over 7 years ago. Just a complete eyesore. I had the founder, Ethan Dobbins, incredibly cringe. But before I was making over 7 figures a year with my portfolio of e-com brands and owned a sick $7,000 Ralph Lauren cowboy jacket with built-in flamethrower, I was 17, just desperately trying to crack the dropshipping code so that I wouldn't have to go to college or, God forbid, work at the Gap. But nothing was really working, and I was on YouTube constantly, just scrolling looking for answers. And a lot of gurus will tell you that it's your theme or your traffic quality or it's your product's fault for why you have a zero point 0.3 ROAS and erectile dysfunction. So I was just constantly chopping and changing my website, seeing what golden nugget fix would solve all my problems, but nothing ever happened. And a lot of it stemmed from the fact that I was treating my business like building a house, which in theory does sound right, but I was focused on all the surface level things, like what color paint should the house be, rather than realizing the root problem is my foundation is literally built on matchsticks. So in this video, I'm going to break down the 3 highest leverage tasks that actually make the difference between making a few sales a day and scaling to thousands of dollars a day with the same exact product. So give me the next 44 seconds, take that right hand right out of your underwear, sit in the upright position in your bed for God's sake, and I will teach you exactly what you need to be doing to scale to that next level. Now, the first highest leverage task, which I know you've heard it a million times, is you need to have an irresistible offer. That is how you're going to go, like my student Paul, from $100 a day to 1.5K in literally the span of a week. But how are we able to do that by making his offer more enticing? Well, you start with split testing, my friend. You will never get the right offer, which is the highest leverage task, if you're not split testing, because you need to find what's the right price point, what's the right offer structure, and you can't just throw up one offer and then just call it a day and think you're going to have a winning product. It very rarely is ever going to be your first offer that you make that is the right offer. So in this instance, what did we do to go from $100 and really just breaking even to scaling to 1.5K a day at a 35% profit margin, making $500 profit a day? Well, we first started with 2 offers. We downloaded A/B Convert onto our store, which is about, $50 a month. It's nothing. If you are a serious dropshipper and you really want to make this your full-time income, get A/B Convert for the love of God. And our first offer was $64.99 plus $4.99 shipping. $4.99 shipping. Now, our second offer was the same exact thing, really. $64.99. It was just the first product. So getting the product at $64.99 plus free shipping. Now, you may be thinking, okay, I want to do the $5 shipping option because I make more money. And that makes a ton of sense in theory. But when we tested these 2 offers, we sent 50% of traffic to each one. The revenue per visitor, which is the number one metric to evaluate your website, and it's basically just your AOV times your conversion rate, our revenue per visitor was $1.50. And you can also do it just by dividing your visitors by revenue. So if I have 1,000 visitors and I have $1,000 as my revenue, then I have $1 per visitor that I'm making. But when we did this other offer, where the only difference was just not charging for shipping, our revenue per visitor increased, guess, write it down in your comment section, by 3x. Our revenue per visitor went to $3.90, essentially almost a 3x, which allowed us to scale his ads. We didn't change anything in his ad account. We didn't do ABOs. We didn't do bid caps, cost caps, all this fancy crap that you're looking for one button press that will blow up your business. It wasn't that. It was strategically split testing and finding what offer, what price point actually worked and resonated with his audience. And for some reason, free shipping was the major thing. He got a lot of checkouts, a lot of ad cards that weren't converting with this offer, so we went with this one instead, which is why you always need to be split testing. So let's actually go and talk about some of the most common products that you are going to be selling. There's really 2 types of products that you were ever going to sell, and it's ones that it really only makes sense to buy the original product. It's not really a product that people buy multiple of. And then there's consumables, there's supplements, there's products where you're going to get a lot of repeat customers. You're going to get a lot of people that would buy 2, 3, or 4. So let's talk about the first option here, which is this new Derma professional skincare set. What offer should we go about, and what should be our mindset when we're trying to figure out the right irresistible offer? Well, first, you need to understand what are the different offers you can do in the first place when you have a product where people are really only going to buy one. Typically, the best offer is always doing a VS, a value stack, which is thinking, okay, who is my target audience, what is their dream outcome, and then what can I do and sell to them that would get them to their dream outcome as fast as possible. So obviously we have our skincare kit. So we got our little kit here, but can we throw in other products? So for instance, maybe there's a red light mask that we can throw in. Maybe we also can add a warranty. So a 1-year warranty that does add value. We can also throw in free shipping. And the free shipping and the warranty are things that you can throw into every single offer to make it more enticing. That's a quick little hack here. But we would want to do your original product plus one complimentary product. And ideally, if you can do 2 complimentary products, and these should be products that really only cost you $5 to $10 extra, those are what increase the value, the perceived value of your offer, and make it seem like, oh my God, I'm going to get to my desired transformation much quicker, which is what people really pay for. At the end of the day, your customer doesn't care about what you're selling. They just care, is this the easiest, the fastest, or the most affordable option to get me to my target desire? And that's what you're really selling at the end of the day. So when we start with the value stack offer, let's say this product costs us $20. My ideal margin rules is I need to be at least getting a 3x of what it is costing me. So let's say our kit here costs us $20 and then the red light mask costs us $5. So that means we need to be at a $75 price point. So if it was me, I would just do $74.99. And I would say the compare at price of the skincare kit is something along the lines of $99. And then the red light mask will say it's free. So to our customers, it's free. But the perceived value will be that it is originally $24.99. So you're stacking up all these perceived values. The 1-year warranty will say the value is around $9.99, et cetera, et cetera. So really, they're only paying $74.99, but the real value of what they're receiving is $150 or $199. Ideally, in this case, I probably want to get it to $199. So I might bump up this compare at price of the skincare kit a little bit more, where I'm telling that, oh, you're really paying $74.99 for the kit, but the real value is, let's say, $149.99. Plus adding up the compare prices of all the other options. So that's how you stack and do a value stack of offering multiple products at the same time. So that's usually going to be your best offer when you're selling a product where people really only buy one, but there are other offers out there. So typically, a lot of times what I do is I actually just do a simple price split test like we did in that previous example with my student, Adam. So in this case, Paul is his name. So in this case, what we could do is figure out, okay, what's that price point where we're making the most money? That revenue per visitor is at its peak. So if it costs us $20, what we could do is, okay, $49.99 plus $10 shipping, because that gets us to our 3x of $60. Then we could also try something a little bit in left field of doing $69.99, plus free shipping. Sorry, let's zoom back in here. So $69.99 plus free shipping. Now, why would we do that? Well, we can see, can we theoretically charge more money and still get a similar conversion rate? Because you will notice a lot of times that if you raise your price by $10, $15, $20, like I don't want to be the average price for whatever product I'm selling. I am building a brand. And when you're building a brand, you need that perceived value to be higher than everything else, because people will think, oh, I'm getting a premium product. You don't want to be the one that's competing on price, because that is just a never-ending game that leads to you having no margins after you make all these sales. So you can start at $69.99 plus free shipping, or we could even do a higher price, like doing $79.99. So the AOV of this offer would be $79.99 if that was the price point that we started at. So instead of a 6, let's do a 7. And then obviously the AOV of this one would be $60. So then we have to figure out what's the conversion rate going to be, because if the conversion rate on this offer is 2% and then the conversion rate on this one is also 2%, then of course we're going to go with offer number 2. But you have to be split testing, because if you just throw one price out there, you're never going to have the most optimized website where you're making the most revenue from each visitor. And that is the goal. If you want to scale, you need to increase that gap between how much you're spending to get visitors on your website from how much you're making from each one of those visitors. So that's where you typically are going to start. Those are the 2 most important things to split test when you're doing offers for products where people are only going to buy one. Now let's talk about supplements. Typically, there's 2 structures that make the most sense. Number 1 is always doing a BOGO. Now, I find that on average, usually the movie theater BOGO strategy works the best, in which, okay, we have our product. Let's say this cost us $9. Typically, most supplements are around $9. So for 2, let's say it costs us $15. So in that case, what I would do is the movie theater BOGO strategy. So again, we want a 3x. So we can do, okay, you can buy one, get one free at $44.99. But if you just want to buy one, sure, we'll give you that option, but it's $39.99. So if you buy one, it's $39.99, but you can get 2 for $44.99. So the perceived value, let's say $49.99 is our compare at price, which means for this one, it'll be $99.98 compare at price. So you're saving $10 with this option right here. So you do a little save $10 badge, but then with this option, you're saving $49. So of course they're going to choose this second option because the perceived value is so much greater. You're getting each one of these supplements for $22 compared to $40 with the original. So when you do this is called price anchoring, where you anchor an original price to make this second offer look better. So really you're sacrificing the buy one option. You don't want anyone to choose the buy one option so that people will choose this one at a higher rate. Of course, another great offer structure you can try besides that is bundles. So not even giving people the option to buy one. You want to incentivize a higher AOV, which some people are going to want to buy one. But if you notice overall, if you split test, let's say for instance, one product page, you have this offer going on, which is $39.99 for one, $44 for buy one, get one free. Then you compare it versus your bundle option. So 50% of traffic will go to this version, and then 50% of traffic will go to this one. And then on your bundle page, the first option is buy two, save, let's say, 30%. And essentially it's kind of a value, it's not a value stack, but a volume discount. So if you buy two, you get X discount. If you buy four, you get a bigger discount, like saving 45%. And then of course, if we're buying, let's say 6, usually that's like the main last option. So buy 6, you save 50%. And then usually by default, you'll have this one selected, which is the buy 4 option. So in this case, let's say buy 4 will probably be something along the lines of like $74.99. And then if you want to buy 2, it could be, $49.99 plus shipping. And this one could be $74.99 plus free shipping. And then of course, if we want to really stack it, we can combine different offer structures together. So this one could be $74.99 if you buy 4, plus you get that free skincare kit. Or in this case, I know it's a different product, but if there's another supplement or there's another pill or cream that helps us get our target audience closer to their desire faster, then throw in a free gift when they buy more. That's usually the way you incentivize people to buy more, is you throw in these complementary products. They unlock these next level of products and free gifts when they buy more options and discounts as well. So those are typically the main things offer-wise that you need to do to make your offers way more irresistible than everyone else who's doing the typical save 50% off. It's too boring. It's too vanilla. Everyone's already done it. And before we get into the next leverage point, if you do want access to all my product page templates and the AI tools that I use to write my product descriptions and come up with my AI images so I can have a high converting store in literally just a few hours for any product, then you can click the first link in the description and apply for my 101 program, where along with that, you also get coaching calls from yours truly, where I will review your website, your products, your ads, and we are the only program that guarantees you'll hit $1,000 a day, or we'll keep coaching you for free until you do. So if you want to work with me and get access to every single resource and my personal 101 coaching, click that first link in the description and book a call today. Now, the next most important thing, and this is something I see all the time that is just completely neglected, is your above the fold section. This is what most of your guys' above the fold looks like. A complete train wreck. Now, I know you're looking at this thinking, man, that doesn't look half bad. I mean, they got some bullet point benefits. They got their product in frame. They got multiple photos describing what the product does. And look at how many fire emojis. Honestly, I feel like it needs more fire emojis. Why is this section not optimized? Leave a comment down below. Now, the reason why I'm highlighting this section as the second most important thing on your website is because 100% of people that land on your website will see you're above the fold. Now, as you scroll on down to your product description, your social proof, et cetera, there will be a percentage of people that will drop off, meaning that you need to optimize this above the fold section so that if someone just lands on this, they know every single reason why they should buy your product. You have the emoji benefits, you have the social proof, you have an irresistible offer, you have a money back guarantee. You should have all that in your above the fold so that people don't even need to scroll down. They're just going to scroll down your website to maybe handle some objections, learn a little bit more, but the key information should be here. So when we look at this one, the reason why it sucks is, first off, not a branded name. The emojis definitely lower the perceived value. When you look at this, you think, okay, this is definitely a scam. It is a cheesy Indian looking website from 2005. And when we look at the copy, way too long. And the copy has nothing to do with the product. Join thousands who rely on us for quality, value, and service. I can say that about any product. It's too vanilla. It's too generic. 100% authentic and certified. Who gives a shit? Risk-free purchase. Who gives? Now, you can have your risk-free guarantee as a badge on your image, and that's all you would need to do. That's how you properly optimize things. This is valuable real estate right here, where you should be only talking about the desired outcomes or what problem your product solves. So when they're describing this copy, None of this matters because they're just talking about themselves and not why this matters to you. And that's one of the core cardinal sins of copywriting is focusing on me, rather than you, the customer. What's in it for me? Because it's the only thing your customer is thinking. We are very egocentric as human beings. And we get it. If we're buying a product, we're just subconsciously thinking, how does this fit into my life? How would this make my life better? Improve my quality of life? Or take away a problem that's been nagging at me that I didn't realize was such a big deal until I saw your ad and I read your copy. So how do we dial in this above the fold section to have all the key things that people need to see? Well, let me show you two great examples. Noro, these guys do well over 7 figures every single month, and their above the fold is a little bit different than how I personally like it, but it has a lot of the key aspects. One, the hero image. It's not just an image of the product and they call it a day. No, it's a hero image that has a 90-day money-back guarantee, free shipping, so they have trust badges that increase the perceived value, which is incredibly smart. Then when you go to their next images, they're going to have images that, in my opinion, aren't the best because I prefer my images to talk about benefits and use cases and show social proof. So I think that's actually the one area where they could improve things. And if we look at this next example, this is a little bit better where you see before and after. So social proof of the product actually working. Now they're selling hair extensions in this case. So just so you know the product and have a little bit of context. And then they have real social proof of real customers using the product, which is so effective in your marketing and social proof. Now, other things that I also mentioned was that I do like to have images where you have little arrows pointing and talking about the USPs. What are the benefits? What are the use cases where you can actually have this product add value to your life? Now, besides that, they have a branded name. They have the problem that you're dealing with, and they talk about how the product solves that problem. All of these are the actual desired outcomes that the target audience wants, and they even have a little bit of value stacking going on here, free worldwide shipping, and also a little ebook that will help the customer get to their desired goal quicker. Then, if you go here, the accordion menu, they have their refund policy, they have their guarantees, they have the shipping details. Those are the core things you need to have in your above the fold section. So Noro, I give it like an 8.5 out of 10. They have great copy, which is really carrying. And when we look at these guys right here with this Halo extension set, which really isn't a big problem solver, but I love the way they're doing their copy. It's so short, it's to the point. They understand their audience isn't going to read a lot of things. They just want to know the bullet point benefits as to why they would want to buy this product compared to other ones. And boom, stays in place. Easy installation, seamlessly blends with your natural hair. These are great benefits. They have their offer plus the free Halo extension. So they make it clear that you're not just getting this product, buy one, get one free. It's on the hero image. The hero image actually serves a purpose rather than just showing someone with hair extensions and calling it a day. Each image you should be having with a strategic purpose of getting more information to your customer, whether it's talking about your offer or a lot of people in the first hero image will have a headline about getting a desired outcome or your money back. So get crystal clear skin or your money back. Get crystal clear skin in 30 days or your money back. So having a headline where you're talking about the main desire. And the second image, again, I like to have social proof. You can do social proof in so many forms, and we'll actually get into that a little bit later. That's a little bit of foreshadowing. But also, what do I love? Clear offer, great social proof here, solid benefits. And these are great USPs about the brand, made in USA, test for 30 days. And of course, they got the shipping, they got the return and refund policy. So all the key information, I don't need to scroll down. I know everything about this product right from the above the fold section. Now, the final thing that you need to dial down when you are selling any product to convince someone that this will actually change your life, because let's be honest, your customers are going to be skeptical. They have seen a million offers. They've seen a million ads. And let's be honest, you're a sleazy slime ball. I wouldn't even buy from you if my mother's life depended on it. So how do you get people to trust your website when it's the first impression of being on your website? You need to have strategic social proof. You need to have it at the top of your product page. You need to have it in the middle of your product page, and you need to have it at the bottom, every single aspect. So what social proof can you actually do? Because I understand you probably don't have that much of an imagination or any creative bone in your body. Well, here are the 13 different forms of social proof you can add to your website to improve your conversion rate. Number one, a collage of comments. Bleem does this where they just basically make these fake Facebook comments. You can go to zeop.com, type in Facebook comments, and then just download the images and put them onto Canva. And you can see these are incredibly detailed. They're very realistic. And people definitely like third-party social proof. They don't want to take your word for the product works. They want to believe other people that have already tried it. They don't want to be the guinea pig. So that's a very great form of social proof. Also, grabbing images from social media, from TikTok, from YouTube, from Instagram, and putting it into a collage and saying, hey, we have 23,000 plus reviews or 5,000 plus reviews. This, again, great form of social proof. And these are all things that you put in your product images at the top of your product page. Now, scrolling on down, this is where you have an accordion or what they call a multi-row. Now, this is usually what I have underneath my above the fold section. It's usually the first section of it can be before and afters. It can be people holding the product. And then underneath is a quote like with this right here, talking about the experience of using my product. So usually in a lot of cases, these reviews handle specific objections. So depending on your product, if you read the FAQs, if you do your targeted market research, which I've talked about in so many other videos, you're going to know that your product has specific key objections that you need to be handling. So for instance, does the product fit? Does it work? Does it stay on all day? Et cetera, et cetera. So handle those objections while your customer's thinking about them with your social proof. That is how you do it strategically, rather than saying, oh, the product arrived, I got it in 7 days, it works. It's too generic. If your reviews sound like it could literally be a review for any product in the world, it's not specific enough. That's your main problem right now, is social proof. So that's another form of social proof you can do. And of course, you can do the trusted by thousands. This is just another way of, you can have video sliders, image sliders, a little headline, and just keep it short and simple. Now, another thing that can add a ton of social proof is the fake tweets. There's a lot of fake tweet generators where if you have images of models of UGC, people wearing your product or using it, you can upload the image, just add a fake username, add a little bit of a tweet, and that adds a lot of bit of, I would say, sophistication to your brand. It makes your brand seem a lot more legitimate because you can tag the name of your brand on Twitter and then make it seem like, oh, these guys are the real deal and not some fly-by-night dropshipping store that was literally started 12 hours ago by a random Indonesian kid who is trying to make a quick buck, which I know is you. So scrolling down, other things you can do, you could have a little tweet, or not in this case a tweet, but a text block, which you have at the top of your product page. So a lot of times Nora will do that. Will they have like a little customer review, a quote, and they don't have it on this one. I think they might have it on another one. Let's just do a quick little check. Patella knee brace. No, they're just kicking with this. They're just keeping the same format, which I get it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But that is another great way of adding social proof at the top of your product page. So in the middle, before and afters, yeah, if you're selling a product where you can visually see the difference after using it, like losing weight, or in this case, the halo extensions, makes a ton of sense. You should have before and afters. So anything that's visual, have before and afters going on. Have to have that. Now, video reviews. This is something you can add with section.store. It's a little section. You can add it onto any theme. So typically, again, I will always put this below my above the fold section. So my first section right here is where I'll add my video reviews. Of course, you can do the magazine logos. That's another form of social proof. I think we actually have that right here. Yeah, magazine logos is another form. So I personally prefer video reviews because, again, it's authentic. It's real. People believe that, and they believe the third-party UGC rather than your brand telling them that the product works. Now, the final key things, customer review section. This is what everyone has, but of course, you should have it as well, and be strategic. It's the same principle. Instead of saying obsessed with them, they blend so well, it's a little bit too shallow. Have your first 8 to 10 reviews be detailed. Have them be 2 to 3 sentences, handling objections, talking about other things they tried that haven't worked, and why this has worked so much better than all the alternatives on the market. And then the final key things you can do social proof wise is, of course, UGC images. So you have UGC images of people using your product. Put that in your product image section because it adds more social proof. It makes your brand seem much more legitimate. And then the final things, Trustpilot. This is also on section.store. You can add a Trustpilot section, which looks so good because most dropshippers just don't have that. So I would highly recommend, if there's anything you can learn in this video, go to section.store after you watch this video, play around with the different themes and sections that you can add onto your theme, and you are going to find ways to make your website be more optimized and just more legitimate and trustworthy than everyone else selling the same product as you. So those are the main key 3 leverage points that you need to be focusing on if you want to make any product a winner and go from a few sales a day to scaling to thousands of dollars a day in sales. But of course, if you want to be working with me and have myself review your website and give you the templates that have already worked for me, because your boy has been doing this for a while now and has done well over $10 million in sales for myself and for my students, then you can click the first link in the description. You can apply to join my one-on-one program, and we're the only program that guarantees you'll hit $1 grand a day, or we'll keep coaching you for free until you do. So if you want all my ad templates, frameworks, etc., click that first link. And if you want to learn how I actually research my audience and come up with my customer avatar, watch this video next right after this one.